So I wanted to give a quick overview of the auto routing mode of the ProNav. Here we are, middle of the river. We're in anchor mode. Usually this is what I do. I set anchor mode in a safe spot, and then I go to draw my route. So when I go over to routes, you'll see that we have, go to where we are, and there we are. So we can zoom in as much as we want to. I usually use the Google satellite view. You can use Navionics. I don't have that account figured out just yet. The thing to watch out for mostly is that if you don't know what your depth profile looks like, this river goes from deep to shallow about 100 times, so I just have to be careful that as I'm routed I don't run into rocks or anything. But I want to be along this far shore over here, so what I'm going to do is set my route to hug this shore. So you can see that I'm just holding my finger down. You can see my co-pilot down there beneath me. He's hot and wants to swim, so he may get a little vocal here in a minute, but just set your route as much as you want, wherever you want it to go. Sometimes what I do is then I'll do this, and then I'll bring it right back up again so that it brings me home down the opposite shore. I just need to be a little careful for how close I get to that shore. Probably a little too close on that last one, but that's okay. I can always remove a point, remove a point, remove a point, remove a point, and then come back in here and draw them a little better. I've got sunscreen all over my fingers right now, and my phone is overheating as well, so there's that to be aware of. But anyway, so I got my route drawn. I'm going to tell it to tell me where I am, and I'm going to tell it to go. I usually set my speed as my waypoint. I go about 1.4 miles an hour. It's set to anchor whenever I'm done, and I'm going to start. So you can see that she's going to take us off to get there. It does like to start your route usually pretty quick, or get you to your route point pretty fast. The one thing to watch out for is if you drift past the start of your route, obviously whenever you tell it to start, it's going to turn you around and take you back where you were, and then go. So the trick to that is to just poke the next point and set that as the start point. I've made that mistake about 100 times. Or if I have to change my route in the middle, or another boat comes along, or it's shallower than I thought it was or something, and I have to cancel, I have to press stop. The fix for that is just to tap the next point and tell it to start there. Otherwise it's going to take you back to the start and go again. That's all there is to setting a route. I often have another kayak actually tied to me. It's a big shadow caster. It's usually got a cooler and at least one person and all kinds of stuff in it. So you can see I'm not touching the paddle. I'm not manually steering the trolling motor. I do have the foot control up there. I keep that basically as an emergency override in case I drop my phone in the water or something like that. It is kind of cool. The ProNav lets you pass through the foot pedal, so you can always override what the ProNav is doing. It always defaults to the foot control, so I just keep it off and leave it there just in case something terrible happens. But here we are, arriving at the first waypoint. You'll see it start to correct us. I didn't really finish my thought on the auto routing. With another kayak tied to me, obviously it corrects a lot more, especially if I have that kayak next to me. I've been experimenting with putting that kayak behind me, and everything seems to work a lot better like that, although girlfriends don't usually like to be behind you whenever they have the option to be next to you. So that's the only thing we have to watch out for. So there's a correction as we swing back onto course right there. And then here we go. So obviously you're at the mercy of however good your satellite imagery is for wherever you are. It feels like we're a lot closer on the map on the phone than we are actually in person. But right now that's good because there's some massive sunken timber and rocks here that I'm missing. So that's great. Anyway, we can set this either by speed or by thrust. That's pretty sweet. I don't usually do thrust. I usually do speed. But sometimes, like if I'm trying to maximize my battery, I'll just set the thrust set point to about 50%. and let it go. So anyway, that's a general overview of how that works. You can see we're coming up on the second waypoint here. I can also adjust my speed anytime I want to. So we're at 1.5 right now. If I go ahead and bump this to 2 and tell it to set, it will speed up and tell us to take off. Apologize for the barky dog. Apologize for this pontoon boat crew that likes to keep buzzing back and forth if they decide to come. But you can see that we're ramping up to 2 miles an hour right now as we continue to follow the course. That's about it. I'm super happy with this setup. It means that I can fish these smallies non-stop. I usually, somewhere around 1 mile an hour is perfect for me to just keep casting. And the other thing that I do a lot is that I'm terrible at having my setup ready to go when I hit the water. Like I've always got the wrong rig on, or the wrong tackle, or the wrong knot, or the wrong terminal end or something. So I can set the route, tell it to go, and then go ahead and tie that up, so that as soon as where I get to the fishing spot, or as soon as I get to as soon as I can, I'm ready to fish, so I don't have to worry about it, especially if I have a long distance to cross. That's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it very much.